Donald Trump stepped off the golf course and signed an executive action directing funding cuts for Social Security. He also proposed slashing hundreds of billions of dollars from the Social Security Trust Fund every year, putting your hard-earned benefits in jeopardy. Nearly 4 million Florida seniors rely on Social Security. And once again, Donald Trump's failed leadership is hitting seniors the hardest.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Thank you for joining this Biden-Harris campaign Social Security anniversary with Jill Biden. And now, please welcome the Biden-Harris campaign's Director of Senior and Progressive Engagement, Heather Booth.
Today, we celebrate the 85th anniversary of one of the most beloved institutions in our country, Social Security. Social Security was the New Deal response to the last great national depression in 1935, during the administration of a great progressive president, Franklin Roosevelt. This event is sponsored by Seniors for Biden, with the help of the Alliance for Retired Americans and Social Security Works. It's our intention to make Joe Biden the next great progressive president who, in the tradition of Franklin Roosevelt, is committed to the welfare of ordinary people in this country and not, like the current president, just for his own personal and political and economic self-interest. Like Franklin Roosevelt, Joe Biden is completely committed not only to defend Social Security, but to expand and strengthen it, but not Donald Trump. During his campaign, Trump pretended to support Social Security and Medicare, but as in most things, he lied. He just issued an executive order that suspends funding for Social Security, and if reelected, he says he'll make those cuts permanent and destroy the system. This is a voting issue. Social Security is on the ballot. Our lives are at stake. Our lives are on the ballot. Our first speaker today is one of our greatest congressional champions for Social Security and Medicare, and a very close personal friend of mine. In her early career, she served as executive director of the Illinois State Council of Senior Citizens. It was there, some of you may remember, that she led the famous demonstration when seniors chased the then powerful chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee down Milwaukee Avenue in Chicago and successfully got Congress to repeal a bill that would have placed massive financial burdens on most seniors. Since being elected to Congress, she founded and co-chairs the Democratic Task Force on Aging and Families. She was a leader in fending off George Bush's failed attempt to privatize Social Security 15 years ago. And she's one of the most outspoken members of Congress, demanding that our government build an economy that works for everyone, not just Wall Street and the wealthy. Our champion, Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky.
Well, thank you so much, Heather. I am Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, and I am thrilled to welcome all of you today to celebrate Social Security's birthday. Thank you, Seniors for Biden, for bringing us all together. We're here to celebrate the 85th birthday of this national treasure. Millions and millions of Americans of all ages and health status have relied on Social Security earnings and those earned benefits. Social Security has delivered on its promises of lifelong inflation-adjusted benefits, never having missed a single payment. And that is truly a cause for celebration. But we can't rest on our laurels. Make no mistake about it, Donald Trump is no friend of Social Security. Our job is clear because the threat is real. Without a doubt, Social Security, and Medicare as well, by the way, are on the ballot on November 3rd. We have to elect a president and vice president who share our vision of Social Security's future. You are going to hear how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will make Social Security even better by improving benefits. It's the fight of our lives, and with your help, we will win it. And now it is my great pleasure and honor to introduce our very special guest and champion in her own right, Dr. Jill Biden.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
She was eager. Did I say it wrong?
No, I thought you were finished.
No. Okay, Jill, a few more words about you, because I love you so much. She was eager to speak with you about Social Security because she knows what it means to us, and she knows that her husband, Joe, will make it even better. After 8 years of being the second lady of the United States of America, it is high time that Jill Biden becomes our first lady. And like her husband, she will stand with us and stand up for us. And as you get to know her better, I just want to say, you will find that she is about the nicest person you're ever going to meet. And now, our friend and the next First Lady, Jill Biden. Take it away, Jill.
Okay. Thank you for your kind introduction, Congresswoman Schakowsky. And Jan, you've been a lifelong advocate for seniors, first as an advocate and now as a leader in Congress. So thank you for your tireless work and for your support. So hello, everyone. You know, this has been such an exciting week for us. Biden-Harris. Joy is such a different thing during this time of a pandemic, isn't it? And I hope you are all healthy and staying safe out there. Today, I'm so glad to join you to celebrate 85 years of Social Security. But first, I know that not all of you may know me as well as you know my husband, Joe. So I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I grew up the oldest of 5 girls in a suburb of Philadelphia. And when I dreamed of what my life would be, you know, I knew that I wanted 2 things. A marriage like my parents that was strong and loving and full of laughter, and I wanted a career. So I set out to find those 2 things, but my path was just a bit meandering. It was the 70s, Vietnam, love beads, equal rights. I wore my hair down to the middle of my waist, and so did most of the men I dated. So one day I was asked out on a date from out of the blue. And that evening, a handsome young senator showed up at my door. So I opened the door and there was Joe. And I took one look at his perfect suit and his leather loafers. And I thought, thank God it's only one date. But one date eventually turned into a marriage proposal. And, you know, if I'm being honest, it was 5 proposals because this was really not part of my plan. And more than that, it wasn't just my heart that was on the line. As many of you know, just after Joe was elected to the Senate at age 29, he was in his new DC office to hire staff when he got a call from the Delaware State Troopers. So his family had been in a car accident, and his wife, Nelia, and baby daughter, Naomi, were killed. And Bo and Hunter survived, but were seriously injured. And Joe was later sworn in at their hospital bedside. And since that accident, their family had pieced itself back together as best they could. You know, they had this bond of memories and love and grief and absolute trust. And I couldn't stand the thought of letting down these 2 little boys who were ready to open up their hearts to me. I knew that if I said yes to Joe's marriage proposal, it had to be forever. And eventually I realized that my love for them outweighed any fears that I had, and I said yes. Still, it's hard to know what you owe a spouse who died before you came along. A lot of people wrestle with the fact that the love of their lives loves someone else first, and perhaps never stop loving that person. Some feel jealous. Some feel inadequate. Some let questions of what would have been eat away at their peace of mind. But from the beginning, Joe made it clear that there was room enough for both of us. And I knew that if he could love Nelia as deeply as he did, then maybe I could be loved that completely too. Joe's mom used to say, God never gives us a cross too heavy to carry. In the darkest moments of my life, I've come to believe the truth of that statement with one caveat. We don't have to carry it alone. I learned that sometimes the most courageous thing we can do is lean on one another, because that's what community is for, lifting each other up when we need it the most. When President Roosevelt talked to the American people about Social Security, he shared a vision that our nation would be, quote, a place where all persons can live in peace, honor, and human dignity, free to speak and pray as they wish, free from want and free from fear. Community, a country where all generations are valued, a place where when you work hard your whole life and you pay into the system, you earn the right to security. And for 85 years, Social Security has ensured that Americans enjoy a secure retirement with guaranteed benefits after that lifetime of work and contributions. That right has never been more important than now, as a global pandemic threatens older Americans' lives and living situations. And yet, it has never been more vulnerable as this administration promises to permanently defund it. Joe understands how critical Social Security is. He'll never gamble with it. And in fact, he will strengthen it so that it can continue to better Americans' lives for generations to come. And that's not all. He's going to protect and expand Medicare and ensure quality, affordable health care for all older Americans. He will reduce the cost of prescription drugs, and he will make sure that our seniors have the choice to receive care at home or in a supportive community setting. Joe keeps his word, and he spent his entire career doing the seemingly impossible. So when he makes a promise like that, when he says he will never, ever turn his back on you, you can believe it. Joe has the steady leadership and vision to build our nation back better than before. And now he has someone standing by his side who has never been afraid to stand up for what's right or hold those in power accountable. Kamala Harris. And let me say how excited I am to have her husband, Doug, joining us as well. Joe and Kamala are going to turn our country around, but they can't do it without you. About 1 in 4 registered voters are over 65, and that's a powerful voting bloc. You know, Joe, you know what's at stake, and you have the chance to decide this election. Especially women, we need the nana vote. And on this 100th anniversary of suffrage, we have a legacy to uphold. And I don't know about you, but I can't wait for our first Madam Vice President. It's on us to talk to our friends and our family and do everything we can between now and November 3rd. COVID has changed how we talk to people, but how we win hasn't changed much. It's person-to-person conversations. It's building relationships and making the case. It's speaking out and showing up. So I'm asking for your help. You can text seniors30330 or go to joebiden.com/coalitions and check the seniors box. That will give you opportunities to volunteer. And our team will be in touch and make sure you have all the tools to volunteer for our campaign from your home. Now, before I go, I know we have two organizations with us today that want to officially announce their endorsement for Joe. Congresswoman Schakowsky, do you want to introduce our endorsers?
I sure will. You're absolutely right. We have two important endorsements. And first is coming from Robert Roach, the president of the Alliance for Retired Americans, is here with us. And the Alliance for Retired Americans is a leading national organization of 4 million individuals across the country. And Robert, are you here?
I am, Congresswoman. Thank you, and thank you, Jill. I am Robert Roach, President of the Alliance for Retired Americans. And on behalf of our 4.4 million members, I am proud to announce that we enthusiastically endorse Joe Biden to be our 46th president. We know we can count on Joe to strengthen our retirement security and protect the health of older Americans. We know this because we know Joe. Vice President Biden has been a friend to seniors for a long time. He's earned a 96% lifetime pro-retiree score on our congressional voting record. And his new running mate, Senator Harris, earned a 100% rating. Joe will protect our pensions and expand and strengthen the Social Security benefits. He will never, ever defund Social Security and will put millions of seniors at risk of financial ruin. We know this because we know Joe. He's going to use the power of Medicare to negotiate lower drug prices, which retirees and all Americans desperately need. I know Joe Biden will treat every American with respect and will lead us out of this awful pandemic. We know this because we know Joe. Our members are organized and are working to get everyone out to the polls. We're educating people on the process, and we are motivating to get everyone that they possibly can out to the polls and make sure that we elect Joe Biden, our friend, to be the 46th president of the United States of America. Thank you so much, and let's go to work.
Robert, thank you so much for your endorsement today. Alliance for Retired Americans is doing so much to support its members across this nation, and we are proud, so proud to have you on our team. And after a lifetime of hard work, your members remain active as strong advocates and leaders in their communities. And we're going to need every single one of them to help us win this campaign.
And you know that we're going to see the Alliance for Retired Americans doing just that. And now we have another amazing endorsement. Many of you probably know John Bauman, best as Bowser from Sha-na-na. But to us in the advocacy movement, we know that what is even more important is that Bowser is the president of Social Security Works PAC. And Social Security Works is a leading advocacy organization that fights tirelessly and expand and protect Social Security. So, John Bowman, it is yours. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman. And there has never been an election more consequential for Social Security than this one. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the Democrats are committed to protecting and expanding this vital program. If Donald Trump stays in power, he will try to end Social Security as we know it. It was President Dwight D. Eisenhower who once famously said that people who opposed Social Security were, quote, a tiny splinter group whose number is negligible and who are stupid. Unfortunately, that tiny splinter group now controls Eisenhower's Republican Party, and one of them sits in the Oval Office. Donald Trump is a clear and present danger to Social Security. He recently vowed that if reelected, he will, quote, terminate, unquote, Social Security's funding. Make no mistake, under current law, that means that in just a few years, Social Security would be no more. During Trump's horrific response to coronavirus, he has sent a message to older Americans that he doesn't really care if we live or die, and that some of us should indeed sacrifice ourselves to the economy so that he can get reelected. Now, he's also made it clear that he intends to steal our money by raiding the Social Security trust funds. But there is light ahead. There is light ahead in the form of Joe Biden. Joe has been a champion for older Americans for his whole career. He and Kamala Harris will fight to protect and expand our Social Security and Medicare. They will fight to lower prescription drug costs by taking on the greed of big pharma. Joe Biden knows that Social Security and Medicare have kept countless millions of Americans out of poverty. Social Security Works PAC is proud to endorse Joe Biden to become the 46th president of the United States of America. Or as my alter ego Bowser would put it, bum 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 dang 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 ding dong ding. Vote for Joe Biden. Thank you.
Bowser, I've always loved Sha Na. And what Social Security Works does is so critical to our efforts. You know, we need to mobilize Americans around this issue and help amplify the voices of those who are most affected by this. And you are helping do just that. So thank you for your work. Thank you for your support. And thank you for your music. You know, I began with the words of President Roosevelt, and I'd like to end with them as well. In that same speech, he said, quote, I have the possibly old-fashioned theory that when you have problems to solve, objectives to achieve, you can't get very far by just talking about them. You've got to go out and do something. We are almost 80 days away from the election, and there's no time to waste. We have to get out there and do something. And I know that that is why we are here today. And with you beside us, we're going to win this. So I want to thank you all for being here today. Thank you for everything you do in your communities. And thank you for your faith in an idea that's really bigger than all of us. And that is that we will build a better nation because we are going to do this together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Biden, and also Robert Roach and Bowser. Love that song. We all have to be singing that we're going to be voting for Joe Biden. And next we have some amazing people to add to the program. I want to introduce another very special guest that is coming up, Oscar-winning actor Lou Gossett Jr. Okay, how cool is that? That he is with us. And we also have Kathy Greenlee, who is a former Assistant Secretary for Aging in the Obama administration. And the three of us, I'm going to join them for a panel discussion about Social Security. And then there's also going to be, we're about to jump into 3 quick panels to discuss these issues. But we're going to begin now, and I'm going to turn over the MC to Kathy Greeley, and we're going to begin our first discussion. Go ahead, Kathy.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman. You know, it's a real honor for me to have the opportunity to do this with you. You and I first met, it's probably been 10 years ago now, when I first came to Washington as part of the Obama-Biden administration as Assistant Secretary. And I know from my time in Washington what a solid champion you are now and have been for many decades, honestly, on behalf of older people. So it's an honor to do this with you. And it's been a wonderful chance to meet Mr. Gossett as well. who has spent his time not only as an award-winning actor that we all know, but working to end racism and injustice in this country. So a wonderful chance to take this from Dr. Biden and talk more about Social Security. So as we know, this is the 85th anniversary, the birthday of Social Security. And Congresswoman, I wanted to start with you and ask you to talk a little bit more about how important Social Security is to all of us and what it means for Americans to have this vital program.
Well, thank you. Okay. Thank you so much, Kathy. And I want to thank you for all the work you did as Assistant Secretary for Aging at the Obama-Biden administration, because they really did care about seniors and all of the work that you've done to improve the lives of older Americans and persons with disabilities as well. So Social Security is part of the DNA of America. A financial bedrock for nearly 65 million of us, and I mean us. I'm on Social Security, and 2 of my grandchildren received benefits after the death of their mother. So this is very personal to me. 2 out of 3 retirees rely on Social Security for the majority of their income. And that is why it is so frightening that Donald Trump promised that he would terminate, that's his word, he would terminate Social Security's dedicated revenue stream if he is elected this November. It would be unbelievable if we hadn't already seen the budgets that he's had that have cut Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid over the past years. Democrats don't believe that we should cut Social Security. Instead, we believe we need to expand it. And let me give you just one example. Women, on average, live longer than men, but are less likely to have pensions or savings to fall back on. Consequently, too often, we, women, find ourselves getting more and more impoverished as we age. Joe Biden plans to improve widowed benefits and the benefits of the oldest old, who are disproportionately women. I turn it back to you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. You know, I don't think enough people stop and realize how many people were pulled out of poverty. The point you'd made at the very end because of Social Security. It's really extraordinary that this country took this step 85 years ago. Mr. Gossett, I'd like to turn to you, sir. Make sure we've got good connection for you. So, Mr. Gossett, a few weeks ago, Vice President Biden announced his ideas for how we could better support family caregivers. And I was wondering if you would talk about both, the importance of family and the importance of caregivers.
Well, the importance of family is extremely in my line of work. I've done this almost 56 years now professionally. I started at the age of 17, and the person who helped me was my great-grandmama. According to the Bible, she was 117 when she died. That's her and me in 1953. I'm 17 and she's 115. And she told me one thing. She said, listen to me. She says, God was here before you got here. God's going to be here while you're here. And God's going to be here long after you're gone. So you may as well calm down and let him run things. That's my roots. But of course, I completely agree. Social Security is an earned benefit. Americans contribute to Social Security starting with their first paychecks. As important as it is for seniors, it is the most important and often only disability insurance and life insurance that working families have. That's all they've got. It's the nation's largest children's program and the most important source of revenue in families where grandparents are raising grandchildren. Social Security is important for everyone, but it is particularly important for those who have been discriminated against as a result of race, gender, or sexual orientation. Nearly 1 out of 2 unmarried older women rely on the Social Security for virtually all their income. 3 out of 5 single-order African Americans and Hispanics rely on it almost exclusively as well. I hope that before Americans vote, everyone knows of Joe Biden's commitment to expanding Social Security. It's important. In addition to what Congresswoman Schakowsky says, he plans to increase the minimum benefit so that no one retires into poverty after a lifetime of work. Like Congresswoman Schakowsky says, I believe the choice this election could be no clearer than that. Donald Trump wants to starve Social Security. Joe Biden wants to improve benefits and require the very wealthiest to pay their share. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, Mr. Gossett. Congresswoman, if I could return to you. I started by asking Mr. Gossett about caregiving, and I know caregiving and family caregiving has been something you've looked at clear back to your days when you were in Illinois, before you were even in the legislature in Illinois. Will you talk about caregiving and what the pandemic is also kind of revealing or showing us about caregiving and healthcare right now?
Absolutely. And when we talk about the pandemic, I want to agree with Lou that really our lives depend on electing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I don't think that's too extreme to say. But let me go back that I did have the privilege of working and learning from seniors in Illinois since the 1980s. And we fought for many of the same issues that we're fighting for today, I'm sorry to say, including lowering drug prices and making them more affordable and quality long-term care. So right now, I am really focused on COVID-19 crisis because so many older Americans are really, really suffering. At the end of July, 63,000 Americans had died in nursing homes. That's residents and workers. And more deaths are occurring even as we speak. As you mentioned, the Aging and Families Task Force, which I co-founded and now co-chair, held a hearing on this and demanded to know, why are we seeing no action from Donald Trump? It is so heartbreaking to hear from families, and we do all the time in my congressional office, from family members who have seen their loved ones abandoned by this administration, and from workers who Trump has treated as disposables. Infuriating. So what we need to do, even before the pandemic, we saw that the Trump administration acted to weaken nursing home safety standards that were set in the Obama administration. They not only tried, but they did weaken those standards. And Trump has refused to guarantee that treatment and vaccines will be affordable for anyone, much less those who are most at risk, seniors and those who care for seniors. Joe Biden will provide them, this is what he told us, at no cost. We're talking about vaccines and therapeutics. And by the way, he will make he will make the prescription drugs that we all need affordable by using Medicare's bargaining power at long last to negotiate for lower drug prices. And unlike Trump, Joe Biden has a vision for care and a care agenda, a visionary care agenda. Thanks.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Mr. Gossett?
Yes.
I thought you did a fabulous job of talking about why we need to elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So before we move on to another panel, I want to come back to you again and say, what else would you like to have older Americans keep in mind as they go to the polls in November about the issues that are most important to all of us?
The issues is the effect of our elders are more important than we think. We have to stop thinking about it in hindsight. They want to tell us now what's most important. This is the effect of my great-grandmother on me. That's me and my grandchild. Now, I just finished a film called The Cuban about a Cuban former nightclub man who has gone and is found by a young nurse. And she wants to know, and he's incommunicado, and she has to find out what his problem is. And then her finding out, she has him come to life. To make a long story short, he's a musician from Copacabana in Cuba. And he gets his last time to be who he was back in the old days. So the possibilities of the curing of people with Alzheimer's is more than just medicine. Sometimes it's affairs from the heart. And the people who give them the affairs from the heart is maybe unknown, and you can't put it in paper, but it seems to get its effect by the heart-to-heart communication. This young nurse plays music, and this young man comes to life. This old man comes to life. So now the lessons that learns as an actor over 60 years. With every time you learn something about man and mankind. This is an important issue. Save the elder. They have something to tell you. This is extremely important.
Yeah.
That was extraordinary. Thank you.
Mhm.
Congresswoman, anything we should send people off to think about as they go to the polls in November?
We definitely want to think about going to see Lou Gossett Jr.'s movie. I want to see that about Alzheimer's. But if you are a senior, you care about seniors, or you aspire to be a senior, you cannot afford to sit this one out. On the one hand, we have Donald Trump, who has said, as I said before, and I think as Bowser said too, that he will terminate Social Security as we know it, who has ignored the tragedies unfolding in nursing homes, and who has failed to lower drug prices. But on the other hand, we have Joe Biden. And he will address our challenges and bring us together. We need seniors to be mobilized, to get out the vote, to get out the facts, to tell the truth. We can send postcards, we can make phone calls, we can text everyone that we know. So really, the bottom line, Kathy, is get involved. This is a fight we all have to be in. And I want to say, when we fight, we win.
Absolutely.
Thank you both so much for your contributions, but also for participating with us today. We're benefited from your advocacy for older people. So thank you. I think we will move to our next panel, but Congresswoman was talking about how to get involved. I'd like to go back and remind people of the information that Dr. Biden gave us. If you want to get involved, you can go to joebiden.com/coalitions, or you can send a text. All you have to say in the text is seniors. Send that to 30330, and that will connect you with the Biden-Harris campaign, and they can reach back out and pull you in and get you involved. So you'll see I'm joined by 3 new people on the screen. I would like to quickly introduce you to them, and we'll talk to them about issues that are on their mind right now as well. So all 3 are members of the Alliance for Retired Americans. Henry Trejo is from Arizona. Henry, you want to wave? Henry's from Arizona. Denise Jackson is from Florida. Janessa is there. And Gary Mitchell from Wisconsin. All here to talk to us about what's on their minds right now. Henry, I'd like to come to you first and have you talk to us about what Social Security means to you and your family. Do we have Mr. Trejo? Ms. Jackson, could I ask you this question?
Yes,
or do we have Mr. Trejo? I'm sorry.
Without Social Security, my wife and I would have a real problem making ends meet. Yes. Can you hear me?
Your sound isn't very
Can you
good.
hear me?
Yeah, just try again.
Hello, can you hear me now?
That's better.
Yes, without Social Security, my wife and I couldn't make it because she has some medical issues. She's been diabetic for over 30 years. And her... No, yes, without Social Security, my wife and I couldn't make it. She has some medical issues. She's been a diabetic for over 30 years, and she has developed certain conditions related to diabetic. She is currently doing dialysis 3 times a week to develop renal disease and glaucoma and high blood pressure. And her check goes mostly to her co-pays for medical and prescription co-pays, and of course the Medicare premium that we pay every month. And when Donald Trump says that he's going to end Social Security, it really upsets us because we earned our Social Security for our whole lives. And because as seniors, we all depend on it. And I know that Joe Biden will protect Social Security and also improve it so more people can enjoy it, and it will be there for all my kids and grandkids. We are raising 3 grandkids, which makes things more difficult and makes Social Security a lot more important for us. We really need the Social Security to help us and help our grandkids as much as we can. If it wasn't for Social Security, we would probably have to end up giving our grandkids up to the state, and maybe they would end up in foster care. So I am one of the over 4 million Alliance for Retarded Americans members that are voting for Joe Biden and supporting this year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Trejo. You mentioned issues that are so important to older people: Medicare, Social Security, many older people who are concerned about the future and their grandchildren. So let's turn to Ms. Jackson and have you introduce yourself to us real quickly and talk about what's important to you this year as you're thinking about voting.
Hi, Kathy. I am Denise Jackson. I serve as the Central Florida Area Vice President for the Florida Alliance for Retired Americans. I am also a retired teacher, and I live in Oviedo, Florida. As we head into this election, deciding where to deposit my ballot is constantly on my mind. As you've seen on the news, Florida is really hit hard by COVID-19, and I have some serious health conditions, and that makes me high risk for COVID. And because of this fact, I limit my time outside of my home. So as the election gets closer, I'm trying to decide where to deposit my ballot so that I am certain that my ballot will be actually counted in this very, very important election.
So are you planning to vote by mail? Is that what you're thinking about doing, since you don't get outside very much right now?
Yes, definitely. That is my plan. I will vote by mail. I requested my vote by mail ballot. I have received and returned the August 18th ballot for Florida's primary. I expect to receive my ballot for the November 3rd general election in early October. But thankfully here in Florida, they're going to put some boxes at certain sites where they have early voting, as well as at the Supervisor of Elections Office. We can deposit our ballots there, in addition to putting them in the mail. But I really think for this election, we need to plan ahead and vote as soon as possible.
Thank you. So can I ask you a follow-up question? You mentioned that you were concerned about your health. What are the what are the health issues and pandemic-related issues on your mind this year as you make a decision about voting that you think other older Americans should also be thinking about?
Yes. I stated earlier that I do have some health issues, as most older Americans do. We need to make certain that no one tampers with Medicare. And we absolutely need to lower prescription drug prices. You know, I really think that Joe Biden gets this. And I say this because he has a record. He's going to block anyone who tries to cut or privatize Medicare. President Trump has done nothing, absolutely nothing, but undermine our health care program. Prescription drugs are higher than ever. And then there is this whole coronavirus issue.
Sorry, I couldn't tell if you were finished. Yes. Are the drug issues new for you, or are concerns about prescription drugs just more kind of pronounced right now because of the virus?
I am very concerned about prescription drug because the cost is so high. Many Americans older Americans, they cannot even afford to buy the medicine they need to live. We have seniors that spend thousands of dollars every single month trying to purchase life-sustaining drugs. I've heard of seniors cutting pills in half, trying to stretch it and make certain they last a little bit longer. And many of them do need some relief from this financial burden. As far as why I'm concerned about COVID, I am concerned about COVID-19 because I know it is not a hoax. COVID-19 kills people. My oldest nephew died from COVID-19. Although the CDC had given permission for a donor to give him antibodies, he never received them. He died on the operating table because of complications from this virus. This is a loss of life that I will never, never be able to forget. And another thing, it is outrageous. Billions and billions of taxpayer dollars have been spent to develop vaccines and treatments. But there's no guarantee that we will be able to afford them. This is wrong. This is just all wrong. The only thing that gives me some hope is that Joe Biden can fix this. I trust him. I really believe that Joe Biden can solve this problem. You see, Joe tells the truth. Whenever he speaks to us, from the past, whenever Joe says something to us, Joe tells us the truth. And I sincerely believe from the depths of my heart that he will be able to solve this problem and save lives.
Ms. Jackson, I want to pull Mr. Mitchell into the conversation, but if I could take the liberty of quoting President Obama, you seem fired up, ready to go.
I am.
Yeah. Awesome.
I really am.
Awesome.
This is the most important election of our lifetime.
Awesome. Let's bring Mr. Mitchell into the conversation. Gary, if you would quickly introduce yourself and tell us what's on your mind this election season with regard to older voters.
Thank you, Kathy. And it's a pleasure to be a part of this panel. I'm Gary Mitchell, president of the Wisconsin affiliate of the the Alliance for Retired Americans. Let me just cut to the chase here. As we talk about concerns during the COVID crisis, I'm a lung transplant recipient. I'm on a great deal of medication. So obviously for me, the concern about prescription drug prices is very high on my list of things to think about. And I see that that the Trump administration has done nothing but drop the ball on this issue, and that people are, I don't even think that people are able to cut their pills in half, because that doesn't really even approach the amount of expense that has increased over as it appears that the Trump administration is more willing to give away money to big pharma than it is to support reasonable access to medications for not just elderly people, but everyone in our country.
Mr. Mitchell, are you concerned about the safety of voting, the kinds of issues that Ms. Jackson brought up in terms of being able to safely cast your vote this fall?
Well, regrettably, Wisconsin was the poster child for how not to have an election on April 7th. It was right at the beginning of lockdowns, and a lot of confusion was going on. And so many times I see on the news how not to do it, and compared to Wisconsin's experience on April 7th. We had people standing in line for 4 to 6 hours as we did not have enough polling workers, and people insisted and took their franchise to vote very seriously, and people insisted on voting even though their lives were very much at risk at this particular time. And we had a Supreme Court, both the Wisconsin Supreme Court and the United States Supreme Court, who wouldn't delay the election even for a week or two to at least get some more information. And they made those decisions via Zoom and not in person themselves. So obviously there's plenty of hypocrisy to go around. And so there's a lot of concern that people have. And I know that we are geared up in Wisconsin to make sure that people are registered to vote and know how to request an absentee ballot. There are no restrictions. You don't have to be out of town or anything like that. So there are plenty of opportunities, and we hope that people will take advantage of their opportunity to vote.
Are there other issues that you're thinking of that are related to the pandemic? Things like the terrible social isolation that we all see, that all of us are experiencing, especially older people, and the need to be able to get care and stay home. What are those type of pandemic-related issues that are on your mind?
Absolutely. So obviously the isolation of everyone is increasing the anxiety of everyone in our neighborhoods and towns and cities. And I just wanted to put a plug in for the caregiver legislative plan that the Biden and now the Biden-Harris campaign is pushing. I look at that, and it's nearly $1 trillion over 10 years of support, and it does three things from my point of view. It supports the workers who are doing the work of caregiving, which is so long overdue. And my union, AFSCME, has been organizing caregivers for many, more than a decade for sure. And it approaches it with a great deal of compassion, which is the unknown in the current administration, to have any proposal have compassion in it. And maybe the most important part of it is that it's actual plan. It's not just seat of the pants, just following whatever instincts a person has the morning that they wake up, as the current administration has. And if I might just say, in the words of future President Joe Biden, it's a BFD.
I was around for that quote. All right. Thank you three for talking to us today. I think between the three of you, you've done an excellent job of framing the kinds of issues that older voters have on their minds, and also why it's important that older people actually then vote, and that there's a way for them to do that safely. So thank you to all three of you. We're going to now turn to a couple of people from the campaign who can tell all of us how we can get involved, sign up. The Biden-Harris campaign will need our help. So thank you all very much for being on the panel with us today. Let me use this transition also I feel like I'm on a telethon, to plug joebiden.com /coalitions, joebiden.com /coalitions, or text the word seniors to 30330. So now we have a couple of organizers who've joined me on the screen. We have Steve Regenstrife, who's the chair of the National Democratic Committee Senior Council, and Carlotta Scott, who's a field organizer for Seniors for Biden. And Carlotta, I think we're going to turn this to you to talk more about the volunteer efforts that you're organizing and how people can get involved.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I am just so honored that you have agreed to join us and to help facilitate this effort today. And before I answer your question, I just really want to give a shout out not only to the Biden-Harris campaign, ooh, that really sounds good, but I really want to thank Steve and Heather for making Seniors for Biden a reality. We're not Memorex, and this was all Steve's idea, and the campaign had the wisdom to bring it into the fold. So just kudos to them. And of course, we want to thank Dr. Biden and Jan and Lou for their contributions today. Kathy, as has been said earlier, seniors really have a key role in Biden-Harris campaign this year. We're organizing in 17 key states, but just because they're key doesn't mean we aren't organizing in the other states. And we know that seniors understand what hard work is. And as seniors, we know that all the seniors out there are willing to do the work to make sure that we get this ticket elected. And we can't reiterate enough. We want everybody to go to Kathy's intro text and sign on to the website so you can get everything you need about the campaign. You know, we only have 81 days left, which is no time at all. And this will be a whirlwind journey. And we know that seniors are going to be key to making sure that we elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Oh God, every time I say it sounds good. Oh, sorry, I digress. Anyway, Seniors for Biden has 3 major phases. From now to Labor Day, we're trying to engage as many seniors around the country as possible, and with events similar to this. And so everybody on the call, if you don't know, and if you haven't seen the information yet, we've got a pre-watch party, which is next Thursday night as part of the convention. And we're going to watch Joe Biden and Kamala Harris say, "I do," to the party. And then from Labor Day to mid-October, we're going to build out the field plan. We'll be building coalitions in those 17 states and working and encouraging seniors to volunteer to do phone banking, to do text, and if we can manage, do postcards, do mail, do op-eds, and so much more. From October to Election Day is going to solely be get out the vote and voter protection. And what we're really trying to push is the early vote, to get as many people now to get their absentee ballots and or vote by mail information and get it done now. We're building networks, and those networks are going to do the work. So it's you, all of you who are joining us today, who are going to be that mighty team to elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and all the Democrats down ballot. Because you know we've got some good candidates out there that also need our help. And Kathy, I think I heard you ask where seniors fit in. Our Seniors for Biden-Harris field plan will fold directly into the overall campaign plan. And our concern and our goal is to actually leave no senior behind and to make sure every senior has an opportunity to vote. So in building this broad coalition across the states, we're going to reach people. We're going to educate people, and we're going to encourage folk to vote. And if nothing else, we're going to be the cadre of folks who are going to amplify the campaign message. And given the atmosphere, we're going to be that rapid response team. So we are encouraging you and all the others that we can possibly reach to join Seniors for Biden-Harris, again, through joebiden.com/coalitions. And you'll find also on the website a whole encyclopedia and toolkits for how you can organize in your own communities. And, you know, we're leaving it up to you. And we're hoping you will join with us to make sure that we, unlike other elections, will be the margin of victory. Because given this health crisis and the threat to Social Security solvency, it's incumbent that we reach across all constituencies, especially in rural and underserved communities, to make sure every senior votes. So
thank you. Can I jump?
Ahead.
I think we're going to need your energy to get to October. And we're going to be well served. Let's ask Steve to tell us a little bit about, because this is an update from Seniors for Biden, and see if Steve will talk to us a little bit about what the Democratic National Committee is doing. So we've got kind of double efforts going on, and one from the DNC.
Absolutely.
Steve?
Yeah, thank you. And I want to thank Carlotta for those kind words. And I also want to salute Jill Biden and Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky and Lou Gossett. They're all committed to our country and our nation's older Americans. The National Democratic Seniors Coordinating Council, an official body of the Democratic National Committee, was created in 1997. It was designed to give older Democrats a voice within the DNC, to make use of their experience and expertise on issues like Social Security and Medicare, and as we're talking now, to mobilize older Democratic voters in election campaigns. At the recommendation of the Seniors Council, the Biden campaign has established Seniors for Biden. We didn't want the membership to be just well-known officials and celebrities, even though we welcome their talent and commitment. Victory will only be achieved with participation from senior activists everywhere. We want all of you to join Seniors for Biden. Everybody should be an organizer. Once you have signed up, you should ask your friends, your neighbors, family, members of your worship community to join this historic journey. Once a Seniors for Biden member, you will have access to future Zoom meetings, senior-to-senior talking points, flyers for seniors, a seniors video, vote by mail best practices, breaking news, and other helpful information. So I say, on to victory. Thank you, and back to you, Kathy.
Thank you both. We need organizers like both of you to help round us all up and point us in the right direction towards November. So thank you so much. We have a final treat for everyone. If you'll stick with us for a couple more minutes, we're going to send you out, turning this over to Bowser. Bowser, if we can send this back to you to wrap us up today.
Okay, Kathy, thank you. Thanks to the Alliance for Retired Americans for sharing the stage with us at Social Security Works. And I love your scorecard. Everybody, check out the congressional scorecard of the Alliance. It's one of the best tools that there is to get Democrats elected, or anybody who's good on senior issues. Speaking of which, nobody's better than Joe Biden. Check out his plan for older Americans. You will find it to be very progressive and really, really excellent. Also, if you haven't joined Seniors for Biden yet, please do join immediately. We have got a lot of momentum going into the fall. We're going to need it. It's still going to be a fight, but seniors are coming to our side. Now, the closing song. You might know it as Good Night, Sweetheart, Well, It's Time to Go, that ended all of my shouting on television shows. But today we're going to change the lyrics a little bit. I'm sure you'll catch on fast, so sing along at home. Good night, Donald Trump. Well, it's time to go. Good night, Donald Trump. Well, it's time to go. We don't hate to leave you, but we really must say good night, Donald Trump. Good night. Good night, Donald Trump. Good night. Good night, Donald Trump. Vote for Joe Biden. Because on the night of November 3rd, or whenever those absentee ballots are counted, Joe Biden's got to be doing this.